Hello and welcome to the breakdown here for the EPL Filthy Open. And this is definitely a filthy layout. You see that correctly. That is a car wash in the middle. So if you're coming from the Dorito side breakdown, welcome. If you're starting off with the snake side, going over to that video next. Basically just the way that this layout is kind of structured, we're literally just going right down the line. So this video is going to be strictly looking at the snake side. Of course, there's going to be some overlap. That's just the way that paintball works, right? But if you are starting off here, make sure you go over to the Dorito side breakdown so that way you can get a full understanding of the field. So let's start looking at this. So first things first, let's move back all the way to the box. And there really isn't necessarily a back center. So just the way that this layout is looking, you know, like you got like a little can over here, you know, not a whole lot going on in this back center area. I guess this is technically, you could call that the back center, the home, but whatever it is that you want to do is really up to you. But what's good is, even though this car wash is here, you still can look at the other players on how they're setting up. So if they're looking like they might make a run up the middle, or if they're going to try to do something maybe going wide, I would pretty much guarantee that there's going to be someone going into this snake off the break every single time. There's not really a reason. I don't think there's really a reason not to. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let me get down to a normal height and start looking at this. So as we go out, I'm not worried at all about someone shooting me here off the break. I guess if there's a weird gust of wind and it's, you know, blowing the car wash through like that, someone could shoot through here. But the good thing is that you can shoot this cross shot right here and really be able to cut up this Dorito side. So it'll be interesting to see how people play that, if they're going to be slow playing it a little bit on that Dorito side and really pushing for the snake, or maybe utilizing the middle a little bit more, but we'll get around to that. And of course, if you already looked at the Dorito side breakdown, then you already know about that. So we don't have to go into that any more than this. But coming out, I guess really the only threat for this player would be someone shooting a really good shot going into the Dorito corner coming back into you. So this is pretty much a safe bet. You could even use this as a way of coming off and shooting and then diving right into the snake or going straight in off the break. I feel like it would be wise to shoot this way, so that way you're able to get just a good shot, looking like a relatively easy shot. Now, how they get there is how that's going to mess things up. So that's, yeah, if you're shooting too deep and they do the lower slide, but you could actually have like two people float here. I don't know. Could be interesting. Try it out. I do want to look here. Anyone going into the snake? Yeah. If I'm going out to the snake, I mean, there's really nothing stopping me. Let's actually do this. I'm going to go out to this Aztec first, and then when we are done with that, I'll go ahead and move up into this actual snake structure. So let's look at the god, I guess is what you would call it here. Now, this is one that, unless someone is running and gunning up, this is someone that is floating here or in this tower would be able to shoot through here. It's not going to be a guarantee. Well, I guess you could kind of float there and shoot through this gap. It's going to be tough to... You know, actually, you could kind of float. Let's look at this real quick. Yeah, I mean, you could sit here and float, have someone else sit here and float, shooting the Dorito side. So yeah, this section here looks pretty solid to be able to do some damage there. Let me go back again to normal height. Not 6 feet tall. So as we move over here to the Aztec, again, that floater shot there, I think it should be relatively safe. I think what'll happen is people will run and gun here, and then once they get shot, you're just going to have to dive in if you're going to be going out to that particular section there. So let's look here what they can do to even help. I personally would probably use this as a transition bunker because I can't really do anything to help the snake side. Let's look over here. I mean, Dorito side, you can shoot the cross. I almost feel, though, like this wedge is going to be better to do that kind of a job, or even the can shooting the cross could be good for that. Let's see here. If we back up a little bit, is there anything? No. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to do in this Aztec. So if you are coming here, it might just be to shoot back at someone that's trying to float to shoot for the the snake corner. Because if we go out to this corner, they can shoot right over the top here and drop it in. If we look at the can, they don't have as good of a shot, but the tower is able to shoot up over the top as well. So, if you had someone that came out to float to shoot back at those guys and kind of disrupt that shot, that could be a benefit. Or if you had them go to this Aztec to shoot that and then dive out, because when we come here, you can actually see down the wire here. So this corner wouldn't be necessarily a bad place to get to. The issue would be if they take that inside snake. So this is all going to be a lot of reads of where it is that you're going to be going, because if you can get someone out here and shoot down the wire, it's going to be tough for them to make it past that. What would that be? The snake 3? Yeah, so the snake 3 as they try to make it on the outside, because you can just sit here all day and shoot up over the top. But a counter to that would be someone coming here and then going over and crawling up. So I wouldn't come here and just assume that they aren't further down the snake. This would be something that you might even have to have 3 bodies in this snake, just from what I'm seeing. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of craziness happening here. So props to the EPL for this one, because this is going to be an interesting snake battle for sure. Can this guy do anything to help? Not really so much Dorito side. I mean, yes, you can shoot into these gaps, but I feel like they're only doing that if they are, if you already have bodies or people aren't doing that job, you could have this person switch. But I don't know, it doesn't really seem so much of a. I would say that guy would probably want to stay more to the outside, shooting down the wire, and then they can wrap and shoot inside as well, just to kind of help keep people at bay. Something I wanted to see, though. You could shoot up over the top here and skim it right into there. I'm just curious. I think it's going to be, yeah, it would just be high enough that I think you could still crawl underneath it, but it might freak someone out. So if you know that someone is there, you could go and shoot into that gap. But yeah, for sure, if they're in this outer snake, this guy here is going to force them to have to try to hop to the inside. There's definitely going to be a lot of action here. I can tell already. So again, props to the EPL for this one, because this is going to be, you guys are going to have fun with this one, because there's a lot of craziness. So let's double check again. I don't think that, yeah, you have a bunch of routes. So you can go out and up into that wedge. You can go up and across for sure. Yeah, this is going to be pretty simple to get to. It's that further run that's going to be a little bit more of the trouble, just because if I go out to here, let me go up a little bit. So the guy that can float can shoot through this gap, and they actually could be right here as well. They don't even have to be necessarily in the tower. If they're in the tower, then they can shoot, like we saw already, into that right in front of the god, and then over into that section. So this zone right here, I would expect people to be here. So yeah, the delay and go kind of stuff, that's the kind of stuff that I like to do. This would be a fun one for sure, because you're just able to pull up, start shooting, and then figure out where to go from there. But let's get back into the snake. I apologize. So this was one that we saw already that you could help the Dorito side progression to stop. If you're having issues on that side, let's say, someone could take this and shoot through these gaps, and you have some decent shots. I think there might be a bounce off this pin, possibly. I'm curious as to, well, I think it would have to be the tower. I don't think the angle is going to work out. But I think there might be another one that bounces into this little W. So just something to consider. Same thing off that other one. I'm sure that there's something there. But yeah, this guy could really help with shutting down the Dorito side. Let's get further into the snake here and look. Okay. So going into, yep. So yeah, this is free. I don't know how much people will come up into the car wash. But if they wanted to, I mean, this guy is going to have a good shot on him, so it would definitely be difficult to survive in that middle section. It almost seems a little bit more snake heavy than middle heavy, even with how big that car wash is. Just kind of the vibe that I get, or it might be something that people close later from there. Let's see here. So as we come out, yeah, this is like a free move. If you don't have anyone else in that outer snake, like there's no reason for you to stop. Could the backs or the tower? I mean, if you're too tall or crawling too high, I mean, coming through here, I was gonna say the home. It's not really the home, but you know what I mean. The tower here is able to shoot through here. But I feel like if you hug this and stay low enough, you're golden the whole way. Could this guy be an issue? Maybe this would be one that you'd really want to consider. And actually, that could be a way. We actually didn't even see that over here, so let's double check. Yeah, because if you stand up a little bit more, it's going to get kind of painful. But if you shoot right over the top right here, you might be able to slow that guy down. I don't know if it's going to be a guarantee that you would stop him, though. That's the only thing. So let me get down again. Yeah, it's going to be relatively blind. If they really hug it, I don't know if you're going to be able to stop them. Yeah, because even if you might be able to slow them down a little bit. But if someone's shooting this gap through here, if I stay low and take a route real close to it and then crawl up, I'm pretty sure I can get through that. So I wouldn't even say like go there and shoot that right away. This snake is crazy. So looking into this inner snake, so that Aztec a little bit, not so much the Dorito side. Let's see, as you come up, you'd want to be careful of that outer snake. It might actually be good to have one person in each. And then this gap is going to be definitely a problem for people because someone can come to this brick and just shoot this. Same thing with the Aztec, and be able to shoot through here and slow that guy down. But I wonder, you might be able to block that guy out. Let me back up. Ooh, all right. So you might be able to get kind of sneaky here. So the Aztec would be the one you'd want to look out for. And obviously the Aztec in front of you. But you could technically hop over from there and be blocked out and then get through that gap because you could just crawl the outside. But that's not a guarantee. But that's definitely a good one. Now, I would be careful wrapping here because I'm pretty sure the Aztec and probably this brick can bounce it off here into you. So even if you're trying to roll back, they might still be able to bounce off and cut you up there. So just be mindful of that. But if there's no one in those bunkers, there's really not a reason to stop. Like you could just come to their side and start picking up on some easy shots into the Dorito side, and then helping to close out. This inner snake is pretty nasty. Who would stop this? Let's see that, because that's going to be important. I think someone else in the snake, and I bet you it's this outer snake. Let's look at it. So this outer snake, I'm going to call this the snake one. So this snake one. Let's see, who can shoot you on... Okay, so that... Now, if you stay low enough, you should be okay getting through here. I'm looking at that pin. So I'm looking at this pin here, and then right here. I don't... If they really skim it, they might be able to drop it low enough. Or if someone is a little bit taller and they can shoot down a little bit more, they might be able to get that shot through there. So, maybe. But I wonder, yeah, it looks like you have some options of going like deep and up, going around. Can they shoot the outside here? I mean, that can is able to do it, but I think they have to know that you're doing it. The tower here can shoot this, but you're kind of blind to them. So, yeah, I think that this snake run, where are your threat zones? Let's look. So as you're running... Maybe it's a little bit more open than I thought initially. Let's look. So if someone is doing the float... Yeah, I mean, they can drop it if they're doing the float shot. But if you're switching up how you're getting there, it's going to be tough to see, do I shoot the shallow or the deep shot? Where to go. There's a lot of room to play with back here that you can even go in front of this and dive across, or go behind, go around, take a deeper slide over basically into the corner and then come up. So yeah, you have a lot of options on that one. Let's look here. So on the outside, I mean, like we saw already, it looks like that tower can shoot this way. I don't know if it's going to be enough of a threat, because if you hug this and squeeze up, I think you should be okay. That's just the guy that I would still want to watch out for. Even this snake, inner snake one, out of that wedge, if they shoot up over the top, they'd have to stand up and shoot down on you. So that's just, two guys to make sure that you check off. The can sort of has the shot, but it's not like a guaranteed shot. And also, once you get past here, if you're hugging this, I'm pretty sure you're going to be just fine. So definitely EPL wanted to make this some crazy snake side, because it's I can already tell you guys are going to have a fun side on this. Dorito is definitely looking more like it's going to be a survival, but maybe you're able to swing it on some people. Which actually, I guess if you took advantage of it, if they're not shooting those gaps, you can kind of just get behind people, because I think it's going to be kind of like a 2-3 with 3 on the snake side and 2 Dorito, if not a 3-1-1, where you have one guy sort of in the middle helping out, 3 in the snake, and then one guy kind of an island on the Dorito side. Just my personal opinion, at least for right now. This is not gospel by any means. It is just strictly what I'm seeing right now as possible. So we already know about the outer snake having the issue with the snake corner. But if you can put that guy in, the only way that this guy is shooting you is if they are kind of standing a little bit tall and shooting down. So that could be a way that you sort of protect other players. If they're in front of you, if you have someone back here, it might be better, though, to have it where someone is able to get to this snake to shoot down the wire. Because for them to come through this inner snake to get through that gap, there's going to be some issues for people not holding the gaps that they're supposed to. But let's see as we move up. Yeah, make sure you guys are hydrated and eat your Wheaties. You're going to be running a lot. There's a lot of action on here. Obviously, coming up here, you can just smoke that inner snake. So if for some reason you lose your outer snake, if you're on this inside, might not be a bad idea to either just kind of keep an eye out for if there's anything happening this way. Because, yeah, you're gonna eat it if you don't respect that. I guess you could try to come back to this starfish and get in there, so that way you can kind of post on either side. But I mean, that's real sketchy as well, because depending on where they're at. So I don't even know if that's a good alternate. Let's see as we come here. So obviously there can't be anyone on the tape, but I wonder if also when you come here, if you shoot the inside of the snake one, if it'll bounce into that god. Same thing off this can into that tower. But it might actually be better to, if there isn't anyone wide, you might as well just crawl the whole way. Like there's really no reason to I don't see a reason to stop, because you can come all the way into their snake one and just start picking up on people. And if they haven't adjusted, you're going to eat them alive. So yeah, I mean, from what I'm seeing here, if I go back up, I'm seeing some, come on, there we go. I'm seeing some interesting stuff. So it's almost like you would want to have someone in that floater zone, someone maybe here going up, someone coming out to either this spot or going right into here. And then, this guy can then filter out, or, I mean, you need to have someone, I would say your kind of touchdown, you want to get there, so that way you can know what's on the wire. Um, I mean, obviously this in here is nasty as well, because then you can at least post in outside if there is someone trying to come around. At least you have a fighting chance, or if you had someone here at least, and that could be the person that dove up. Man, do you even want to have it where it's like a 4-1? I mean, I'm just trying to think out loud on this, and it's kind of crazy because it's, if you have someone that books it out to the Dorito and then they end up getting shot, it would be helpful to have someone that can float that then can go out and help out with kind of stopping the bleeding that way. But yeah, this is definitely an interesting snake. It's going to be aggressive. I think you're going to want to have at least 2 to 3 bodies in this snake. It's going to be a tough one for sure. Let's look real quick here at this center. Just looking at the snake side. We already looked at it from the Dorito side. On the way up, yeah, there was that Aztec. Yeah, if you came from the Dorito side breakdown, we already talked about this, but sorry, the other side. But obviously, we're talking about the snake on this one. So on the way up, I mean, I'm not even too worried about the Dorito side because they would have to be running and gunning perfectly, and I feel like you're going to have a decent chance of getting up here, kind of relatively unscathed. Not impossible for them to shoot you, but is it worth it, though, getting here? That's the issue. So coming here to stop this move, sure, but I don't know if this is worth the risk to get all the way up here to then get trapped, because you can't really go anywhere. It doesn't really seem like that at all, at least. Like if I come up to this pin, is it... I mean, I can sort of shoot down, but then my back is open to the Dorito side. Like, come up to the car wash. I mean... It's a real thin area, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know that this is really worth it, other than to come through to kind of close things out. But I still feel like first punch is coming from snake. So this outer snake for sure is nasty. The inner snake is good too. So like there's a lot of options that you have here of being able to be creative, whether you want to go and really focus in on getting some cross shots off the Dorito side. But, getting in, you should probably assume that they are in the snake with you until you know for sure that they're not. Just because it seems like you have a lot of options to even hop beams and go move around and all that. So maybe trying to beat people to the punch before they get to there. I don't know. It's going to be a crazy one for sure. I'm trying to rack my brain with how you should have this set up. Like I was saying, like maybe having it where you have someone kind of floating, but then, if you can get someone to come out, go through, and then just try to go all the way up. And then if they can get here and then see if there's anyone down the wire and then go through, well, if you can get someone to here and either here or here, then you can sort of help each other out. Because if they try to come around, at least this guy should be able to see what happened. But if there isn't anyone, because then you can just come out actually to here and shoot this cut and stay on this outside and let your snake just go to work. And yeah, that might be what it is you need to have someone either here or here, and then getting your snake up to here to then move up, obviously, to get to their side. Yeah, there's a lot of options. I mean, tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. It's going to be a good one. Like, this is definitely fitting for the name of the Filthy Open, because there's going to be a lot of craziness on this. So if you haven't checked out the Dorito side, please make sure you go ahead and go do that, so that way you get a full understanding of the field. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you again to the EPL for bringing me on board to do these. And yeah, I'll see you on the Dorito side. Or if you just came from there, then thanks for watching and good luck.